Tom's quitting stand-up.
Ready to lose the hat and regrow the hair? With Choose by Hims, you can regain your hair.
What's wrong with you? How? First of all, how did Netflix let you make this show?
Well, they wouldn't have.
Guys, y'all see that? Bad Thoughts? That was crazy, bruh. By Tom Segura. Bad Thoughts on Netflix. That was wild. But funny and weird. You need something like that, you know what I mean? Everybody gets bored, with the same shtick. That's why I think You Should Leave did so well, because that was such a weird, out of the pocket type of thing. I would love to do like a sketch show. That would be awesome. I'd have some crazy stuff in it. There'd be all types of cussing in it too. They'd be like, "Brick head and little, you got a little butt. Where's your butt at? You don't even have a butt."
Let me make it if I just pitched it to him. Sometimes you have to remind yourself, like, of what your dream, like your original dream, And my dream when I moved to LA had nothing to do with stand-up. I never thought of stand-up. I'm doing one this summer.
Yeah?
I'm doing a movie this.
What was your dream? I think I've told y'all before my dream. Well, I wanted to be, when I was really little, I was like, yo, I want to be a singer, and I want to be in a boy band. And then it turned in, I wanted to be a rapper. And then it turned into I want to be a comedic actor. And then it turned into, I want to be a comedian. And then it turned into, I want to be a comedian, rapper, actor that's also in a boy band. And then there for a minute, I wanted to do like, I think I wanted to be like a stripper or something. But anyways, and then a chef. I wanted to be a chef. Yeah. But most of all, I wanted to be a dad. I got to be a dad. Well, I am a dad. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty dope. What's this one? What does it say? That's a long line. Holy. Homeschool my kids and travel in an RV and enjoy my family as much as I can, or have a homestead. Ooh. When you were little? When you were a youngin'? Yeah, back in the day, I'm talking about. Now my dream, I would like to pretty much do this. I like to make my own content, whatever it is, whatever it may be, where there's no restrictions and I don't have a gatekeeper trying to tell me, oh, well, you're not good enough, or blah, blah, blah. I want to build a community of people, you know what I mean? Come along and hang out and have fun. That's the dream now. Build a community of people on the internet, not a cult. That would be cool to do a cult, though. Would y'all do a cult if you could? I might a little bit. I just wanted like 5 dogs and have a library. That was your dream when you were a kid. Nice. Yeah. Yep. And so, where was I at? Yeah, chat. I just wanted to be like, right now the dream is make some money off of this a little bit, enough to, put it on the side, make a little extra income, reinvest the money, any money, so I can do more content, like actually do funny skits and do music I want to do music. I want to rap. Maybe if the cult was cool. Yeah, Great Dane. Yeah, that's the dream now. Make some money, make a little money, so I can do more content. I can, show the funny side of me, the creativity that I have. It's hard now though. Got a 9 to 5 family. I got another kid on the way. And I'm always working out in the yard, digging. Guys, I forgot to tell you, I got rid of my dirt pile. It gone. I might have told you the other day. I don't know. But anyways,
This summer, yeah.
let's get back into this.
It's a crazy fucking comedy.
I didn't even know that was your original dream, and I've fucking known you forever.
I know, yeah.
By the way, if you want to see Tom do stand up live, this is your last opportunity. I'm being dead serious. And you know that I'm kind of accurate. I will be shocked if you tour it all ever again.
The audience is split on Tom Segura's new Netflix show Bad Thoughts, with most people either loving it or hating it, with 3 stars on Google, 6.2 on IMDb, and 54% on Rotten Tomatoes. Tomatoes?
Really?
Whatever. It's safe to say that Tom successfully stirred people up with his 6-episode series on Netflix, which was clearly written and produced to shock people with its graphic imagery of Tom soiling himself, as well as his unhealthy obsession with the male appendage. Seriously, what's with these guys? By the way, if you want to see my 40-minute breakdown of the show, check out the link in the description to my Patreon. But one thing that came out of all the promotion Tom's been doing for Bad Thoughts is something that Joe Rogan didn't even know himself. Tom Segura never wanted to be a stand-up comedian. He's always wanted to be an actor. And now that he's finally got his foot in the door with Netflix, Tom's planning to take a break from stand-up comedy and pursue his Hollywood dreams. I'm going to get into all those details in a moment, but first I want to explain how Tom basically bought his way into Hollywood. What people don't realize is that Tom didn't go down the conventional route to get his show made. Tom has a long-standing relationship with Netflix, having released all 5 of his comedy specials through them, going back to 2014, as well as appearing on the Roast of Tom.
And they were all hits. They were all classics.
Brady, alongside his Two Bears co-host and longtime friend, Bert Kreischer, also known as the Bloated Grape. More recently, though, he appeared in Kill Tony's Netflix debut alongside tall and funny comedian Joe Rogan. So then, if Tom had sold 5 comedy specials to them and been invited to their biggest live comedy roast in history, why couldn't he pitch them his new show, Bad Thoughts?
I've always liked movies, like features, right? But it's a huge undertaking to get a feature made, but I like short films because it feels like you're making a movie, like a...
Okay, so first off, I don't know. This guy, whatever, he has his own thoughts, just like Tom. The bloated grape. But yeah, if you actually followed Tom, I've been watching Your Mom's House and his stand-up for quite a while now. I mean, it's always kind of been bad thought, but like if you watch his podcast, they show some gruesome stuff and some crazy things, and it's just funny to him. He's always talked about being how when he first came, he kind of, I think he was working like production or something for some TV show or something, and he kind of fell into stand up. But yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean he's gonna totally quit. I'm sure, like, he'll still do funny things, like Eddie Murphy. People will say Eddie Murphy is one of the greatest comedians alive. I mean, how many stand-up specials does he have? I wonder. Actually, I'm gonna look that up real quick. Or Richard Pryor. There's still, doesn't mean they're still not comedians. Okay, so well, this one says he released 2 stand-up specials. Edward Reagan Murphy. Yeah, so he has like 2 stand-up specials. But yeah, he's like one of the best. Yeah, Bernie Mac, he did. I think, well, he did the Kings of Comedy. He was on Def Jam. So I don't really know. Did he ever actually have his own actual special? Anyways, Tom Segura's done like what, 4 or 5 specials, he said? I mean, come on, guys. That doesn't mean he's gonna quit being a comedian.
A mini movie, right?
Right.
And it feels much more accessible to do.
And
I
I
had
gotta
written
say,
all the
all of Tom Segura's, again, stand-up specials were fantastic.
these like short stories, short films. And I called my friend Rami Hashash and I was like, hey, I have a break coming up on tour. Let's shoot a short film because we'd done other things before. He was like, what if we did 3 of these? I was like, how can we do 3 of them? He's like, we'll shoot like 11 days in a row. We can do 3 of these stories. After we shot those 3, it was clear that we had like the the bones of a show. Like what if we did a show that was based on short stories, like short films basically. And I don't know, there's another few that were in the original. And when I sent them in to Netflix, they were like, this is f***ing insane, but like we'll make 6 episodes of this. And yeah, they were just like, this is crazy. But it's been the most fun I've ever had, dude.
Thank God Tom Segura's a multi-millionaire who runs a podcast studio and has connections throughout the industry, because otherwise, by his own admission, his show never would have been made. But the road to getting Netflix to buy his new idea wasn't as simple as he was just making it out to be. This wasn't just some idea he had last year and threw together with his buddy who helped him produce 3 of the stories to pitch to Netflix. This goes back at least 3 years ago.
This is Pod 5,
Okay.
the first fully immersive sleep system. Intelligent.
Was there a part of shooting
I'm pretty sure also the fact that he has a podcast, his own podcast, his own YouTube channel, where he was doing, he was producing and making his own funny things on YouTube, where it was like little sketches and little skits. So I'm sure him going to Netflix saying, hey, I have all these stand-ups you guys have. Look at my YouTube. Look at these sketches that I've already done. Like, they, of course, I'm sure, because all his stand-ups do great. So I don't know.
bad thoughts where you were heavier? Like one
Yeah.
sketch where you were heavy?
Yeah.
What sketch was that? What I saw one sketch. You looked like fatter than the other sketches.
Yeah, because I shot it 3 years ago. That's why.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that was when I shot the pilot, which was, there was no deal. I just shot it on my own. And,
Right.
Yeah. It's
What you gotta
notable.
do.
And I kept bringing it up. I was like, shouldn't we make like a comment about it? It's that one. It's the coffee one. And everyone was like, no. You know how other people are like, no. What do you mean? I'm like, you don't think people will notice? And they're like, no. I'm like, how can they not notice? I'm 40 pounds heavier. And they're like, I don't think anyone will notice.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. I noticed it straight away and thought they must have
didn't
put
notice
Tom
it.
in a fat suit. But it checks out that he shot the cafe story as a pilot episode 3 years ago in the hopes of getting a deal. So then why did it take 3 years to get Netflix to bite? And not only that, why did he have to go and shoot 3 more in addition to the pilot for
Because Netflix doesn't want to just put money on something without knowing for sure.
them to take a look at it when he'd been doing deals with them for over a decade already? Clearly, Netflix weren't prepared to take a risk on Tom's idea without seeing it on screen, as opposed to a short pitch meeting with a script,
Usually-
which is how most shows and movies are made these days.
Usually, a lot of times, people nowadays are shooting their own specials. They're putting the money up for their own specials. They film it, direct it, get a director, all that. And then they go around and shop it to other people. They shop it around to Netflix, Hulu, HBO, wherever else. I don't know, whoever else. They take it, they make it. That way they can make more money. It's just business. It's the easier way to do it. That way they can watch the thing and say, oh, okay. Yeah, we'll buy that from you.
Having said that, it's not unheard for young directors and producers to make a short film or even just shoot a couple of scenes for a studio before getting the green light. Actually, fun fact, Harvey Weinstein was one of the first Hollywood producers to travel around the world to film festivals and buy up the options to short films so he could sell them to studios as feature films. True story. Anyway, lucky for Tom Segura, he didn't have to go down that route with Harvey Weinstein because he's got millions of dollars burning a hole in his pocket to spend on producing his own showreel for all the suits over at Netflix. After all, he never wanted to be a comedian in the first place. His heart was set on Hollywood from the beginning.
Sometimes you have to remind yourself, like, of what your dream, like your original dream, you know? And my dream when I moved to LA had nothing to do with stand-up. I never thought of stand-up. Like, that was my whole thing. I want to do comedy movies. And I had like my own blueprint for how I would do it. I was like, I'll go to the Groundlings.
A lot of people do that.
SNL will definitely hire me from there.
Right.
Like,
a lot of people go through SNL first.
And then I'll do that for a couple of years.
And then they make funny movies.
Like, I thought that was a logical game plan to
that's what was big back then.
But the dream of doing.
Actually, even a lot of people was like, hey, I'm going to do stand-up just so I can get a sitcom, so I can make a sitcom. It was just the avenue to go down to become successful.
Doing something like movies, which is like, this feels like to me like they sent me to film school and they were like, make your f***ed up movies. I was working like 16-hour days doing this thing, and I would come home and Christina would be like, I have never seen you so energized after working all goddamn day. She's like, you come home in the best mood. I was like, yeah, because I'm having fun. Like, I'm having so much fun doing this, you know?
Well, that shows you're doing
good for him.
I think so.
Who knew Tom was so fucking miserable until now? But when I heard him explaining the background to his show with Rogan, a few things started to make sense.
You go around touring the country and the world, actually, and repeating the same jokes for a special night after night after night after night after night. Yeah, it gets a lot. You're away from home. I think in his defense, when he was doing the shows and stuff, he could actually come home. He has children now, so that was a beneficial thing for him and his family.
You know how he'd always wanted to be an actor? He sort of fell into stand-up comedy while he was doing a screenwriting course, and then found some success through his friendship with Joe after the rise of JRE. We all know that Tom is one lucky bastard. Think back to 2023 when Tom had his Twitter meltdown at the airport after he was forced to check his bag in and carried on abusing American Airlines for 2 days after it happened, and then all of a sudden, a couple of months later, he deleted every tweet he'd posted from October in 2023. Now, if you've been following my main channel, Podcast Cringe, you'll know that Tom changed after that went down. He barely mentioned it, he didn't really address it, and he started to become more introverted and retreated back into his shell. We went from Tom the arrogant rich asshole to Tom the boring rich asshole in the space of 2 to 3 months. There is no doubt in my mind that Netflix had something to do with that. My theory is that Tom had a hard time pitching the pilot episode from 3 years ago, so he had to clean up his act before Netflix would entertain doing a TV show deal with him, and after they'd agreed to see what he had to offer, he then had to shoot another 3 episodes to show them what he had in mind. This whole thing reminds me of how Joe Rogan bought his way into the Stand-Up Comedy Hall of Fame by buying a comedy club in Austin and declaring it the center of the comedy universe just 6 months after it opened. All he had to do was plaster his comedy special album on the wall with all the greats, and he became a certified comedy legend. But now that Tom's got his foot in the door with Netflix, he's not looking back.
I'm doing one this summer.
Yeah?
I'm doing a movie this summer, yeah.
What are you doing?
It's a crazy fucking comedy. It's insane.
Yeah.
It hasn't been announced yet,
Heck
so
yeah.
you know how they are about that. But
I'm excited for
it's
that.
a wild R-rated comedy.
Well, tell me about it afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
Hi, everybody else.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Uh-huh.
I would love to talk about it, but
I didn't even know that was your original dream, and I've fucking known you forever.
I know. Yeah, it was. I guess I was probably like, I kind of was resigned to that's not going to happen too.
Oh,
You know,
interesting.
not like. I mean, the other thing is like, dude, every time I'm out on the road, you know, I would get a call. Hey, they want to see you for this part. Here's the offer, and I'm like, yeah, I'm on tour. Like I can't move.
Yeah, you're making way more money on
the
tour
United
now.
Center. Well, if I'm always touring, I'm just never going to be able to do
Right.
Other
something
people's
else.
stuff.
Yeah, and so it also kind of I got
Right.
excited about having the summer off.
Ain't
and I
nothing
could
wrong
do
with that.
something. And then my tour, the current tour I'm on, will end in December, and I'm leaving 26 wide open. I'll still do like what I do, which is like go into your club or book some club weekends, which are kind of like low, stress kind of things where you
Yeah.
go, "Hey, I'm just going to go work out."
Yeah.
So I'll try to keep the muscle fresh, but I won't book like a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way,
Cool.
if you want to see Tom do stand up live, this is your last opportunity. I'm being dead serious, and you know that I'm kind of accurate.
I wanted
You
to go
will
see
not-
him,
you will
but
not
his
tour.
tickets were like $300
Easily for
in the
another 2 years
theater.
after this. Easily, and I will be shocked
I'm
if you tour
poor.
it all ever again.
I know what justice is.
Oh my
What
gosh.
it looks like. Every day I wake.
Ever again?
Me?
You
Oh
can
my God,
come
that's
back.
wild.
I love doing stand up though.
I know, but you'll do
Look
it
at Adam
when you're
Sandler.
not
He
on
was
tour.
freaking
Okay.
doing movies for
See,
years.
even Bert knows that Tom's checked out. This honestly makes so much sense now. How many times have you heard me say in my videos that Tom's changed, he's boring now, he's on autopilot, he's playing it safe. Even when he goes on other podcasts to promote his stuff, he's also playing it safe. Remember how he went on Bobby Kelly's podcast back in December of 2023, shortly after the airport meltdown, and went completely silent and refused to answer the question about how many cars he has. Tom clearly has a public image problem. I was watching his recent appearance on the Huberman Lab, and almost all the comments were just shitting on Tom for being arrogant and hating on poor people and just not being funny in general.
I mean, it was
I
a
think
bit,
he's
though.
definitely trying to shake that image now.
It was a bit. The whole bit comes from if you watch his podcast. It was like a bit. He does a bit, guys. Like the whole rag thing. I guess he said using a rag is for pores. Which is just a joke. Nobody cares.
Now and make a move to Hollywood, not to mention the fact that he clearly hates his life. Tom Segura is the quintessential depressed rich guy who can't find happiness in normal life anymore. I'm with Bert on this one. He's closer to Tom than
Oh, yeah,
any
he
of
does
us, so
not
he
like him.
clearly knows that Tom's checking out and making a run.
I don't think he's checking out. He just wants to do other stuff. Like Adam Sandler did SNL. Well, he started doing stand up and then SNL, and then did like another stand up and then did movies for like, what, 15 years, 20 years? And then came back to stand up. Like, so?
Run for the Hollywood Hills. And what could be more perfect for Tom than switching from comedy podcaster to Hollywood comedian, where he'll no longer have to sit in front of a microphone every week for several hours pretending to be a normal human being. I reckon he's a perfect fit for Hollywood. Fuck it, let him have him. Anyway, Matt.
He's been having money for a while. Like, that's just, there for a while, the way they weren't letting a lot of people in there for a minute. There's a lot of gatekeepers thanks to the internet and podcasting. Gatekeepers couldn't lock people out, so he started doing a podcast. That's just how it is.
Shout out to all of you who came over from my main channel, Podcast Cringe, and subscribed to this channel. You guys
I don't
are
know.
absolute legends. And if you're new here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to see more content, head over to my main channel for longer, more in.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, I can see Yeah, maybe he is bored. He wants to do something different. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know if he's trying to act like somebody he's not. But yeah. Whatever.